I've spent my fair share of time trying to attract women. I've had a lot of failures and a few close calls. When I look back on some of these instances, I consider myself to be quite lucky because there were times where I was really ready to commit to women that just wouldn't have been good for me. Now that I'm in a deep relationship, it's easier for me to know what behaviours one shouldn't tolerate when it comes to dating. So if you want to avoid mistakes that will end up biting you down the line, watch this video as something in here may save you, as it might expose something in some of the women that you talk to. And if you get value from this video, subscribe. It is going to be a win-win for both of us. So firstly, and most importantly, if she doesn't have the same values as you, this is a red flag. This doesn't make her a bad person, however. It just means that she is in no way compatible with you. When looking for a woman, you want someone who is compatible. Compatibility is where you fit. Think of it like a puzzle piece. You want two pieces that slot together. However, there are some pieces that just don't slot together, and it's pointless trying to force them. If you end up getting with a lady like this, you will surely be disappointed in the future, because the effort that it's going to take to try and convince her otherwise is just not going to be worth it. There is a saying that I really like: you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. This is the same with women. So here's some examples. You believe sex should be kept in a relationship, whereas she supports casual sex. You want a family, whereas she doesn't. You think a high body count is a bad thing. She doesn't think so. You like self-improvement, taking care of yourself, but she prefers to just live in the moment. I could go on, but you can probably get where I'm going with this. Your values are what you think is right in life. Now, values can change, but it would be better for you to not get involved with such a woman and instead just find a woman that matches your value system now. So let me tell you a story. A few years ago, I was talking to this girl for around about a month, right? And I tell you what, I really fell hard for her. I was besotted by this girl. I found her incredibly attractive and I was kind of under her spell, right? But she had different values around sex than I did. And ultimately, this meant that we were incompatible and this talking stage didn't end up going anywhere. You really need to be careful with this one, especially if you're talking to a girl who you think is out your league. It's so easy for you to get swept into their world. But the wisest decision that you can make is having the woman enter your world. Never compromise on your values for a woman. And this leads me on to my next point. It's only liking her for the way that she looks. Now, this is something that we've all fallen into many times, especially when I was younger. I remember as a teenager, I just went for girls because I thought they were attractive and I didn't care for them. But this is a really bad road for you to go down. Firstly, when you value a woman purely on her looks, it means that there is something wrong with you spiritually. Yes, you. This is because valuing someone solely on their looks is an indication of lust. Now, lust is an incredibly destructive force because it objectifies another human being. So instead of them being their own person with their own desires, their own history and their own emotions, when you lust over someone, what you do is you completely strip them of everything that makes them them. And instead, what you do is you turn them into a puppet for your own desires. And this is why I urge guys like you to quit watching porn, to quit masturbating, because this is actually going to help you with attracting women. You need to unfollow the models that you follow on Instagram. You need to unfollow all the OnlyFans girls, because lust is actually going to destroy your ability to be able to understand women. Because when you lust after them, you are only going to see them through the lens of you wanting to have sex with them, rather than knowing and understanding who they are. Women are emotional creatures, so when you can meet them where they want to be met on an emotional level, you're going to have so much more success. But you can only do this when you remove lust from your life. Back to the point. If you dismiss all the qualities of a woman because she is attractive, because you like the way she looks, you are in for deep trouble. Overlooking red flags because she is attractive is a red flag in of itself. When you seek to justify something that you know is wrong because you don't want to give her up, that is a red flag, because this means that you are in a state of desperation. Committing to a woman like this is gonna really hurt you, because what's gonna happen is that you're gonna compromise on your values because having an attractive partner validates your ego. It obviously feels good, right? Like, I get it. We all want a partner that we can look at and be attracted to. It's a great feeling. But I'm telling you, mate, it's just not worth the trade-off of being with someone that you aren't compatible with in other ways. If you've got women like this in your life that you know emotionally you don't meet them, you just need to let them go. Next up is if she has a bad relationship with masculine figures in her life. So whether that be her dad, her brothers, her male friends, or even just men that she is around, if she treats them poorly, if her actions show that she doesn't respect them, it is best for you to keep your distance. Now, this can look like things such as this: undermining them, not giving them the time of day because they're male, acting like they're lesser because they're men, having this women are superior mentality, if she thinks that men should serve her, and if she was brought up with very few masculine role models, or at least good masculine role models. So the reason why this is problematic and a red flag to consider is because when you come across women who think like this, they are never going to take you seriously, and it's not worth it. This means that they are never going to enter the feminine state for you. So let me explain something to you. Okay, so this is something that we were never taught in school, and I think this is why the dating market is so fucked and men and women both really struggle. So I'm going to teach you about polarities. So a polarity is basically just an opposite, right? So we've got north and south. This is the most understandable one that we have, the north and south pole. You can't have the north without the south. You've got yin and yang, which is obviously the good and bad. So I've got here good and bad. You can't have one without the other. You've got hot and you've got cold. You've got dominance and you've got submission, and you've got masculine and you've got feminine. So these are poles. These are two different states that we can have. We're going to focus on masculine and feminine because this is what comes into play when attracting women and when we get into a relationship. The typical and the most efficient way to run a relationship will be a masculine man and a feminine woman. Now, you can have a masculine woman and a feminine man, but this is less common, and I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you are more likely to be a masculine man. So, we need to look at the qualities of masculinity versus femininity. So, for the masculine, you have order, strength, direction, truth, initiation, sacrifice. For the feminine, there is harmony, sensitivity, flow, meaning, invitation, and nurture. The issue that we can come into is within dating, if we have a masculine man and a masculine woman together, no one's going to be in the feminine state here, meaning the relationship is going to be missing these aspects, meaning that either you're going to be forced to be in this state, which is bad because this isn't naturally where you're meant to be, or you're both going to be in the masculine, which is wrong. So when looking for a woman, you want to ensure that she has more of these qualities and that you display more of these qualities. If you want to learn how to do more of this in your life, subscribe to the channel as I teach you how to do so. With this in mind, because she isn't going to enter the feminine state for you, she will try to push you out of the masculine state. Meaning that when you're together, you are going to be constantly butting heads. You're going to be arguing, you're going to be bickering, you will not get along, and you are going to be in a constant tug of war for who leads the relationship. Does that sound fun? This is not what we want. You want a relationship where you are in the masculine state and your partner is in the feminine. And this is the correct way to have a relationship. And it is the only way that can be sustained in the long term. Listen, boys, don't waste your time with women like this. Now, there are a lot of women who do have a lot of resentment towards the patriarchy. So this is something you're going to have to be discerning with, because a lot of women have been treated poorly by men, and it's our responsibility to show them what real men look like. The general rule of thumb to look out for is respect. If she treats you like a human, if she doesn't try to make you feel lesser, and she doesn't do the same to other men in her life, then this is going to be okay, and there's no red flags here. Next up, we have a lady who doesn't take care of herself, or we could say a lady who isn't healthy, or someone who values health. This one is a little bit nuanced, because if you're a guy watching this who is lazy, has loads of addictions, is unhealthy himself, is unclean, who isn't put together, and has no direction, then you're not in a position to be demanding anything from a woman, as you yourself have nothing to bring to the table. This is instead for the guys who actually value taking care of themselves, who want to improve every aspect of their life. Their health, their wealth, their character, and their emotional intelligence. These kind of men, that's who I'm talking to. Do not go for a woman who doesn't try to take care of themselves. This is a massive red flag. And allow me to clarify what I mean by this, because it's not about what her body fat percentage is. It's not about whether or not she's a model or if she has a great gym physique. It's not about the way she looks. Instead, you need to look at it like her level of self-respect expressed through her habits. It's about her being capable of maintaining her health. So some examples of this would be she's capable of eating reasonably well, she knows how to drink water, she exercises throughout the week, she has good sleep hygiene, she doesn't abuse substances, she doesn't have a phone addiction. The reason why these factors are important are because they will ultimately play a role in her behaviour. So the way she lives dictates the way she acts and what her behaviour is. So the nature of her behaviour is going to have a big influence on the nature of the relationship you have with her. So women who take care of themselves are more likely to be psychologically level, emotionally stable, rational, and they're going to be more secure in the relationship. But to contrast this, women who aren't healthy, who don't take care of themselves, who have loads of issues within their life, are going to be more emotionally volatile, they're going to be more unstable, they're going to be more unpredictable, and they're going to be more short-term focused. This is not what you want when you are looking for a partner. Remember, just because she is attractive doesn't mean you should overlook negative qualities. If she doesn't know how to take care of herself, or at least maintain her health, if the woman that you're talking to knows how to take care of herself, she will be good at taking care of you. This is about a maintenance thing. It's important that you look out for these red flags, because if you let them slide, trying to reverse them down the future is going to be very difficult. So what I would advise is, as soon as you see a red flag, completely dismiss it, because red flags are there for a reason. They are warning signs, and if you don't look at the warning signs, you end up driving off of the cliff. So if you've got some value from this video, like I've said, subscribe is a win-win for the both of us, and I will catch you in the next one.